And I can recall my humble beginnings, man. You know what I mean? It was, when I'm looking at life in regards to the persecution, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people will be like, man, I'm late, you know what I'm saying, to all the events and occurrences that's happened through the years. And they right, man, because the things I found out in the last couple years, you know, about things that was going on, like, anywhere from 15 to 20 years ago already. You know what I'm saying? When indeed I was a child. And, you know, a lot of people like I might be late to it, and they right, man, because it's been actually a strange situation for the longest, man. I just could not find answers, you know, to my situation. And I mean, I can remember my the earliest I can remember, you know what I mean? I wasn't on the path of course that was consistent with the things that would later happen, you know, or the attacks that I would later get on my life, you know, and things like that, you know what I mean? Because for the longest, I didn't even understand. Just like, you know what I mean, my childhood didn't consist of me, you know what I'm saying, growing up, you know what I'm saying, with, like, for instance, gunfire, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was not a consistent occurrence in my life, you know what I'm saying? I would, you know what I mean, I grew up relatively, you know, country kind of, you know what I mean, mostly. You know, it wasn't city life or anything like that. So, I mean, you know, you hear stuff like, you know, maybe like, you know, for deer and season and things like that every now and then, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't a situation, you know what I'm saying, my life, you know, it just wasn't my life or my background. And so, you know, around 2013 and 14, you know what I'm saying, when I was, you know, it was weird. I couldn't, you know, picture, like, in my mind, because I was, you know, relatively, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't a person that, you know, from what I could tell, from my life and experience, I mean, I wasn't a person that, you know, was cool, you know what I'm saying, like that. I mean, I was relatively lame, you know, speaking in modern terms, you know, I mean, from what I could see and judging by how, you know, what the world would perceive, I didn't do anything that would, you know what I'm saying, make me, you know what I'm saying, acceptable, like, in that way. So I know that I was lame like that, you know, so I mean, I didn't feel like, you know, anybody else, you know, I was the kind of person that I ain't feel anybody to take like 2 glances at, you know, or longer. So I mean, when I started writing poetry, that took off in 2014. But all 2013 and 14, you know what I'm saying, that's when I was getting like, you know, like, I don't know, man, like I don't know what to describe it as, but it was just excessive gunfire, like, you know, every day, all year. And it was weird, you know, I mean, because, you know, you in the country, you know, because most places, when it's country, you know, limits, you know what I'm saying, there's leniency, you know what I'm saying, the gun leniency and country limits. But when you go to the city limits and the same thing happen, you know what I'm saying, you go to stores, you go to work, you go everywhere you go, you know what I'm saying, it's just, you know, just endless, you know what I'm saying, like, always, you know, it's as if you're being threatened, you know what I'm saying, like 24/7 with weapons, and, you know, out of nowhere. And, you know, and for the longest, I could not think, you know, of anyone, you know what I'm saying, that would be trying to do this to my life, because, like I said again, you know, I had no, I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, I mean, it was a point in time in my life when I didn't have any attachments of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I was more like a college person, you know, so I was in college, and even then, you know, I was pretty isolated, like I was, you know what I'm saying, because I was an author, and I was writing, and I was like a recluse, but then I was also, you know, in the Bible heavily. And so when I started getting attacked, then later I started getting attacked, I started talking about it, but I started getting attacked first before I started, you know what I'm saying, before I took off writing. When I first took off writing, you know, the things I was talking about was, you know, like, you know what I mean, it was Christian, you know, Christian based, and that was basically all it was, you know. I would, you know what I mean, that's all it was. Like, I read the Bible, and then over time, when I started getting attacked, I started talking about it, you know what I'm saying. So I started talking about it and put it in, you know, my art, you know, my poetry, you know what I'm saying, and then that's when it, you know what I mean. So I started, you know, according to the scripture, you know, I realized that this has to be the devil, because I don't know nobody who will be doing this to me. You know what I'm saying, like this. So I'm like, I know this has to be the devil, this spiritual warfare. And knowing this whole time I've been following the Bible, you know what I mean, that would have got to be. Because, I mean, it wasn't nothing, you know, that would stand out, you know what I'm saying, especially in the time in which we live, you know what I'm saying, that I was ever, you know what I'm saying, like you know, aspect of. You feel me? It was nothing that would stand out, you know, that would harken for attention. You know what I'm saying? As, you know, I've never been the kind of person, you know what I'm saying, to go out my way, you know what I'm saying, to cause trouble or bring trouble on myself or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And so that was, and so I mean, and when I found out, you know, things like in the last couple years that, you know, actually it was more going on, you know, things like 15 to 20 years ago already, 18, 17 years ago already. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's a crushing feeling, you know, at first. You know, I first found out, you know, the magnitude of the situation around this exact same time in 2020, last year. You feel me? And that was actually the last time, you know, when it really hit me, you know what I'm saying? And it was like a crushing realization. You feel me? You know, to understand all at once. And it was weird like that for the longest. So when I think about that, and then I think about what happened to my life early, like when I first started, like my humble beginnings as an author, because you gotta understand, I'm speaking from the perspective of like first person experience. You know, so I'm not speaking, you know, considering, you know, things that everybody else already knew. You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't know word for word, you know what I'm saying, and action from action, you know, but it's obvious that, and apparent, you know what I'm saying, that something happened, you know, those years ago that a vast number of people known about except me. You feel me? It's really that simple, you know what I mean? It's apparent that something, you know, happened that was somehow famous situation or something, you know, happened that I was totally left out of the loop, like acknowledge everything, so I didn't know. I understand. And I mean, when you consider all that we know now, I think, you know, it's a horrific picture that it paints. You know what I'm saying? A painfully horrific picture that it paints. You know, and when you look at what's happening to me and my sustainability, people that try to get me out the country, you know what I'm saying, before I found out the fullness of the situation, you know, so I, you know, because due to fear that I wouldn't do what I'm doing now. You know what I'm saying? Shed light on the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, it's like with the slanders, man. It's a lot of things, you know, people, places, things say, you know what I'm saying, to get people out the way. You feel me? Because they need to make a way to create that space, you know what I'm saying, so they can make, you know, an increase in the profit of you. You know what I'm saying? If you got people in the way saying, or something, you know, there's like, no, I'm not down with him being used like that or something. They got to think of anything or say anything to get that person out the way. And they will. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it from my life. They'll do whatever they got to do to create that space to be able to, you know, to you know, get paid or whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, just imagine, though, you know what I'm saying? So much time don't pass, you know, situation that you, I mean, and so they inflict the most possible, I feel like it was on purpose, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, how I was somehow found out about it, quote unquote, somehow, you know what I'm saying, by some kind of way, they found a way to you know, help me find out about the situation. You know, so all those years, you know, so I didn't know nothing about any of it, you know, but I always felt like I was like an outlier, you feel me, like in everyday life in society, but I understand why or how, but I lived my whole life all the way up, you know what I'm saying, to that point, you know what I'm saying, all the way up to like, you know, 2019, 2020, I mean, because I mean, when I was an author, I still didn't know this stuff, you know what I'm saying, like 17 years ago, all that, you know, and things like that, stuff happened way back when I was a child. And so, I mean, but it's weird like that, you know, I mean, with that situation, so I was getting bored unprovoked, man, and that's what people understand, like, everything that was happening was unprovoked, you know what I'm saying, before I started writing, when I first started, you know, I was, you know, because I mean, anything I look to in art, you feel me, like, I loved art anyway, you know what I'm saying, I had already loved art anyway, you know, and so it's like, it's weird, because I didn't really take off, you know, as an author until like 2014, but I had stuff like on my boards 2013, and I had various platforms, you know, some of them not active, not existing these days of time, but it was very successful platforms, man. I had thousands, you know, my reads and everything, man, and my stuff wasn't problematic or anything until you know, I started getting incessantly attacked. And I'm like, and even then it wasn't really problematic. It was more like seeking understanding of the situation. It's like, whoa, what's going on? You know, like, you know, because you can't think, you don't have no references or nothing. You just thrown out, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you just out on a limb trying to figure out what's going on with nothing to go on. You know what I'm saying? And so it takes you years and years and years to come to the understanding. And that's hence my you know what I'm saying, that analogy I made about like climbing Mount Everest. I made a couple weeks ago. You know, talking about climbing Mount Everest. It's a lot like that situation. It's like, you know, you put in the time, effort, work, you know what I'm saying, to get to the bottom of situation, things happening to your life. And, you know, and so it's a big deal to you because you know personally what you've gone through along the journey. You know, and you find out from scratch with nothing, no references or nothing to go on, nobody really telling you anything, you know, that makes sense. You feel me? You just pretty much, you know, trusting God and, you know, just walking on faith. And then, you know, and ultimately years later, you know, you come to a realization or you put your, you know, two and two together, and then, you know, you know that you're under a massive spiritual attack, but you don't really know all the details. Then the details reveal themselves. And it's like you climb up the mountain with everything, you all tired, you know, scarred up, scratched up, everything. You know what I'm saying? From just like a journey, a long journey. You finally make it to the top, and it's like you racing. It's like a race. You feel me? You got somebody at the time you get up there, it's like society. It's like society kind of just flew up with a helicopter, man. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, like, you know what I'm saying, to put the little flag right up there. You know what I'm saying? Right when you was to put your hand out to put the flag, like, you know, like to signify that you made it to the top, you're about to put the flag on the top of the mountain. And before you get there, society zoom, like it is up there in the helicopter. You know what I'm saying? It's already there. It's like, it was almost like already there in the helicopter, and it just put the flag right there. You know what I'm saying? Before you even get a chance. You know what I'm saying? Right when you were about to put the flag. They, you know, it go up there via helicopter when you went through all that. And it's like, oh, it was, yeah. You know, like, it was like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, they don't understand how it feels unless they was in a position. You know what I'm saying? All things considered. You know? So they don't understand how it would feel, how it feels. I've been fighting for my life every day for years now. You know, years and years, like 8 years straight. You know, and one way or another. And they see it. I mean, it's like I said, it's also like a tornado, man. You'll know the tornado was there from the damage it left behind. You feel me? If you didn't film it, but you see the damage, you know, you can't say tornadoes don't exist. Or something did that. Well, it looks like a tornado. You know what I'm saying? Kind of situation. That's what all my testimony is. It's the damage. But it's also showing the goodness of God, though. Man, the proof. You know, and it shows the presence of my faith. And it shows my innocence, you know, as well. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, it was a lot, man. My early years, humble beginnings. Yeah, man, I was getting attacked unprovoked, man, before I even started writing. You feel me? And over time, the longer the attacks went, I started just getting used to it. And then I started talking about it. Then I started talking about it according to the Bible and the scripture. So it's been tons and tons and tons of hidden chapters that's happened through the years, you know what I'm saying, that people don't even know about. There's so many things that people probably not gonna tell you about. Even your closest person won't tell you about things that's happened if they know about it. You feel me? It's a lot of hidden chapters to my life, you know, that some people know about. And, you know, I was getting like I say, 60,000, 80, you know, views, you know, or hits on my Twitter, you know, like, you know, in 16 alone, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I was all, you know, my fame was up there, you know, but I mean, and it was ever climbing. Then, you know, weird stuff started happening, and it's like, it just gradually just, you know, over time, it was weird, you know what I mean? But I was being attacked before that point, as we know now. So, I mean, it's weird like that, you know, and it's like, you get antagonized for being honest. Like, I ain't doing nothing but speaking facts, speaking the truth. That's not a crime. That's not doing nothing wrong. Telling the truth, speaking the truth. Why is it treated like, why are you vilified or demonized for being honest? You know what I'm saying? I just talk about first person experiences in my life on this Christian journey as a Christian. They ain't got to force information on me. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? As if to respond. I'm like, I'm not speaking I'm not speaking a situation, you know what I'm saying? I'm not making, statements that's to be, responded to. You feel me? I'm rather just sharing facts, you know what I'm saying, about my life on my Christian journey. You know what I'm saying? I'm being attacked by, people who are guilty or entities that's guilty, you know what I'm saying? And nobody is, enforcing my boundaries from them, you know what I'm saying, while I get everything together against them, you know what I'm saying, to formally, in accordance with, order and stuff in a civil society, you know what I'm saying? It's like nobody ain't protecting my boundaries from them while I, build this situation against them. You know what I'm saying? So, at that point, we're in the middle of a war situation because they here illegally. Permanently. They still here illegally. You know what I'm saying? Why? The country don't seem to have, any way or resolution for the situation. Then we're no longer in a civil society or civil time. You know what I'm saying? And that's the situation. So it's like all in one day, society come to a conclusion. They've been watching me go through it for years and see my journey, you know what I'm saying, through pain and grief, suffering and torture and all kind of stuff. And then one day we come to a conclusion and then no resolution for it. You know what I'm saying? While I'm just not coming to a conclusion for understanding through a long journey, and then it still ain't no resolution for it. It's like they come to the same conclusions, but they got no solutions. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or they tell me like a day before I come to the conclusion, you feel me? Or the day before I get all, the details show themselves and make sense to me. Then they already come to a conclusion, you feel me? Like a day before they see, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming to understand the situation. So it's like, so what have they been doing the whole time? Isn't this a place that's under God? They see me doing God's work, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it, man. It's weird. They say the power is in the people. You know what I'm saying? What has the people been doing this whole time this been happening? Till, the divine, anointed, chosen baby of God. And so, some people might argue, I guess, you just did not know everything about life, you know what I'm saying, when you was a child, as they children do, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's nothing you can say to that. It's true. But for some reason, that's, that was put on me more than theirs. So, at the same time, though, God gave me anointing. You know what I'm saying? I'm Elijah. So, can't complain about that. But, it's what it means for a society long term, is devastating. And that's in regards to the spiritual life of the society on those high levels, and the morals and values, things like that. It's devastating too, because it's showing that it's forsaking those things that it was founded upon, while allowing such a situation, you know what I'm saying, to carry on right in the sight of, for so long. And that's what else can you say? When it comes to God, though, God, you can't beat God's giving, though. God is undefeated in His love, mercy, kindness, compassion, long suffering and everything. So, whatever happened, God, like, life ain't always fair, but God is always faithful.